From McFarlane's DC Superpowers line, this is Darkseid and the Supermobile, one of the figures from Wave 1 as well as one of the vehicles from Wave 1. The Supermobile was released alongside the Batmobile. Unlike the Batmobile, I don't think it necessarily took off. To be fair, the Supermobile is a vehicle that, if you're not really into comics, you wouldn't necessarily know, not like the Batmobile. So yeah, I got this guy on pretty heavy discount. As for Darkseid, so far he is the only mega-sized figure in the line. However, since Kilowog is coming out next wave, it's not going to be that way for much longer. As for why I'm reviewing these two, it's because I don't have any other Superman-related figures to pair with the vehicle, and I don't know, man. Darkseid is Superman adjacent, I guess. We're going to look at the figure, then we're going to look at the vehicle. But first, let's take a look at the box of the Supermobile. Taking a look at the packaging, I really do love how vintage, especially the vehicle boxes, fill in this line. You have a picture of it here on the side. On the back, you got some gimmicks. There's a jail cell. There's a punching action, and the canopy opens. And then down here, there's just some, legalese. Another picture on the side. Okay, let's actually open this guy up. Taking a look at Darkseid, I really like this. So it is inspired more by his new 52 design, which I do prefer his classic look, but this new design is still very good. I love this head sculpt. It is a bit more cartoonish, especially for a Darkseid, but it does still convey a certain menace, and they do have the cracks in his rock skin, as well as the cracks here in the arms and his shoulder pad. The blue and the red and the yellows and the grays all work very well together. We have the usual 9 points of articulation for these figures, so swivel at the head, swivel at the shoulder. Oh, never mind, no elbows on Darkseid, though we still do have the hips. And the knees. So we have lost a point of articulation. Maybe it's because of the size, and thus the budget gets in the way, but it might also just be because of how his arms are designed. Maybe they're just too bulky. The Darkseid is, fine. I like him. He doesn't really stand up to the same tier as I hold, like, say, the Nightwing, or the Superman, or the Wonder Woman, or the Peacemaker, my absolute favorites. But he's very still like a great figure, one of the best ones that I've at least messed with in this line, and it helps that he is just a bit larger than the rest. I'll pull in Wave 1 Superman real quick, and you can see he stands a good head taller than Superman. Good scaling for these two characters, and I do like how they look together. I will say, though, it is kind of strange that Darkseid has a little bit more of a developed face. Wave 1 Superman is just a little too doll-like for my taste. I don't have the vintage Kenner Darkseid, but what I do have is the vintage Kenner Parademon, and I can say this, I think these two look great together. It's weird. One, I prefer the Kenner Parademon design to any Parademon design from the comics. I just love the red and the big smile. And I think it meshes really well with this new Darkseid. It kind of makes me wish that McFarlane would, do this design again for a modern figure, because I would love to army build the Parademons. But right now, it's a little cost prohibitive because he's one of the more in-demand figures from the Superpowers line. And then we have the Supermobile. If you are not aware of what the Supermobile is, this was an invention of the 80s. Basically, it was to sell toys, but the idea of the Supermobile was, in the comics at least, Superman occasionally would have his powers depleted, or he'd have to go to a red sun, or places where he would lose his powers in time. So you get the Supermobile, a ship that is just as strong as Superman, that Superman himself can pilot, and yeah, they basically just want to give Superman a Batmobile, invisible jet, adjacent type thing. I'll be honest, there's always a part of me that's like, why would Superman need this? He has the lead suit, he has the solar suit, but they made it, it's fine. It's a goofy looking vehicle, but still, I think that there's a lot of potential here for a toy. We do have a handful of gimmicks here, so just like the invisible jet, we have a canopy. We hit the button. Oh. That was working a second ago. Oh, there it goes. Wow, okay, so that gets stuck. Yeah, that's just not going as it should. That's not great. Okay, so the canopy might be a bit of a bust. Let me zoom out a little bit here. What else do we have? Well, we have this dial down below. We use this dial. We got the punching action. So, that's pretty solid. You get good reach on both arms. Good, fun, little stupid gimmick there. And then you also have the little... You have the prisoner hatch in the back, but it's hard to get it open. Jesus, there. Oh, wow. it definitely sticks. And as you can see, it's decently large. Is it large enough to fit Darkseid? It is not. In fact, I'm looking at it, it's kind of small. One sec. Can it fit a normal-sized character like Black Manta? Oh, no. Don't tell me that. It can't fit Black Manta. Well, okay, Black Manta has a very silly head design. What about the Kinner Parademon? That's even worse. That's even worse. Okay. One sec. I'm going to go get a bunch of figures. See, can this fit anything? Alright, we're going to speed run some figures. See if there's really anyone we can actually put in there. Vintage Kenner Lex Luthor. Okay. Well, I mean, we couldn't close the hatch, but he kind of fits. But can we put anyone in there that would actually allow us to still close the hatch? Random Kenner Joker. No, not at all. Okay, Wonder Woman from this line. No, I can already tell you that's not gonna work. Okay. The smallest figure here, the Robin. So we can't close the prison thing. I mean, I guess you can still technically say, like, you can get 3 people in here, but, like, can you call that a jail cell if you can't even close the flap? It gets so much worse. I've spent the last few minutes trying to get Superman in the canopy. He doesn't fit. I can't get him in there. I'm sure there's a way to do it, but I'm feeling in there with my finger. There's nowhere for his legs to go. Oh my god. Oh, this thing sucks. Just to be clear, I came into this thinking the Supermobile was going to be a lesser than to both the Batmobile and the Invisible Jet. But everything here, aside from the punching, sucks. The design is goofy, but you know, it's endearing. The canopy gimmick doesn't work. Superman can't fit inside. The jail cell, you can't close it again, which I don't know if it was designed to do that or not, but it bothers me that it can't. This is terrible. This is the single worst thing I've seen from this entire line so far. No wonder it was on such deep discount. But, you know, I do want to point out, this isn't a condemnation of this line, but this is a stinker amongst stinkers. Pulling in every figure we've looked at in this line so far, again, I have to say, the Supermobile is the single worst thing I've seen from this series. Every other figure here, there might have been some that I liked more than others. I know that the Aquaman and the Robin were figures that weren't exactly to my 100% liking, but they were still good figures. This Supermobile stinks. I'm so happy to have it, I guess, just because now I can have Batmobile, Supermobile, Invisible Jet. But especially coming off that Invisible Jet, this thing is such a disappointment. Though the Darkseid is still a wonderful figure, and I love having him in the line.